Hey folks, Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. This is a very special live stream, and we have a good bit to discuss. But before we get into that, I have to pay my bills. At the bottom of my scroll here are an amazing group of people who have been consistently, and many of them, despite their own suffering, been able to donate financially to help me do what it is I do. And I am incredibly grateful to them. I couldn't do what I do without you. And a lot of what I'm doing will be happening in the background coming up. But there can be some changes. Before that, I want to thank you guys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired, and I came running in because I'm sore. I had to get. Fridays are busy. The Historical Fencing Guild is also made possible by sales of the Simple Sword, Fighting Axe, and Simple Spear, all part of our ongoing series of Western martial arts manuals designed to help you go from having never handled the sword to teaching the art to others. We're also made possible by my sorted books, both fiction and nonfiction, that can be found on Amazon, as well as the wonderful people and our dear friends and family over at the Independent Creator Directory, indcd.org, your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest authors, artists, and musicians. With that being said, let's get right into the meat and potatoes of this particular live stream. I have been doing this just about every Friday since March 20th, 2020. And the Historical Fencing Guild's live stream and the manifestations of this channel have been and were set up as a outreach, as a means to be of support and connection, originally in the atmosphere of 2020. It has consistently been a place where I could meet, address questions, and help folks, which is what the Guild is about. However, a couple factors we need to discuss, and they are leading to probably some format changes for at least this program, but not necessarily this time slot. What you guys don't know is my wife works mostly the equivalent of 310s. And she has been off just about she has been off every Friday, barring illness, that I've done the stream. So we would have had essentially a 3-day weekend every weekend to do things. And instead, I do my morning show. A lot of times, due to Mandy and I hanging out on Thursday nights, I crash from immediately after the morning show. And we either go to our run home and try and get everything set up in time for this program, which is why I have it set on a fixed start schedule. Like, I don't pre-start it usually, because I can't usually guarantee I will be home in time for it. But the primary point of this was to keep the guildies in connection. And This also was to fill the slot of our practices, because originally practices were Friday nights. It made life simple. But I have spoken with my wife, I've spoken with my son, and looked at a few other scheduling things. And we are going to attempt to see if I can consistently do pre-recorded content and air it in this time slot. That way we would free up our Friday nights. And the reason is this. When this began, the internet active guild members were all living very separate lives. And I think since the pandemic, since that lockdown period, a great many people are a great deal more connected. And certainly through the wonderful development of Indie CD, the great people that I normally serve, vocally, all get to see me then. And they get to see me frequently. So I've had to look at some pretty heavy things of late. This last run, I suffered a few injuries that really affected me, and I've done my best to provide content while I recuperated and recovered from those and some other things going on, but I need to change things to get more things done. I want to get the next couple books out. I want to shoot the guild, the Patreon only content that I think they've utterly earned with their support. And I need to shoot more direct, focused instruction where I don't get lost having wonderful chats, because I love chatting with my folks, my patrons, my viewers. But I also chat with them 3 times a week in the mornings. I have to chat with you. That's literally what Nevermind the Furthermore is. So I think to get back to some of the quality content I think you deserve, and because of some family needs, in the evenings especially, I am going to be backing off from doing these late live streams. The other factor is very simple. As I said, this was meant as a means to connect and get to support my local guildies, the people who have had I've had the privilege of sparring with. Please, guys, when you get a chance, if you haven't, go back through some of the videos. I've got 10 plus years of videos on there of sparring, of conversation, but of training, of crafting. And that content, I think, is what a lot more of you are going to need in this. Now, if it turns, you guys want more vocal support like this, you want me to continue live streaming, talk to me, let me know in this slot. There are a few of you, probably through YouTube, who may not realize I have another channel. Just go at Nicholas Stockert. Hold on. And you should be able, let me get that. YouTube.com/ there we go. Here, I'll even do it right, because I know lately things have been a little glitchy. That's 3 W's in www. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I'm the worst typist on the planet, especially with a messed up finger. There we go. That is the channel in which I broadcast every morning. Okay. at 10 a.m. So there are always opportunities to speak to me directly. But for now, so probably starting next week, I will be doing probably pre-recorded videos. This will do a couple very important things. One, it will give me this time for family time and prep time. Two, I've been watching my live stream numbers, guys. You guys have been dwindling, and frankly, most of my preferred viewers are catching this in rerun. My go-to, because they are busy on Friday nights, and I know exactly where they are, and that's awesome because it's a great place for them to be. I have no problem with that. So if people are going to watch and rerun, hopefully I can up my production value. Been doing a lot of things behind the scenes to be able to do that on all my aspects, including getting back to some of the other things that I started on my previous channel. So I'm hoping to take this time to be able to create some things really special and get ahead so that when practices start up this spring, we'll have a slot ready and people will be able, we'll be recording and we'll be able to show those. And I'll be able to I'll have a wide swath of time to work on things around my shifting schedule. Because the other part of it is, I don't talk about it much, but my son is autistic. He has special needs, and he is, reaching points in his teenage life before we try to figure out what adulthood means for him in this climate. So I have to do different things. And right now, I need to shuffle some pieces around. This last spring and summer, because of the injuries and some things with him, I couldn't socialize properly. I couldn't have people over. I couldn't do what I needed to do to keep this going the way I want to. So I need to be able to focus on fixing that. So that's what I'm going to do. And the first thing I'm doing is freeing up the right, essentially, to pre-record videos, pre-record discussions, and have them slot. So they'll be coming to you at the same time. They'll launch at 8 p.m. My time on Friday nights. But if I am serving my community, I have to serve my community in the way I feel the community needs, and that can be the best quality for all of you. So this would mean I would have hopefully the opportunity to tackle those projects that got put off due to injuries. The smithing, going back and doing maybe knife throwing videos, going back, and I have 1 to 3 new students pretty much chomping at the bit for the spring. So I need to redouble my efforts to both address with some of the current health limitations and gear limitations that I'm dealing with to do that. So that's what I'm going to do. We will be switching over formats. I may on some weeks still do live streams here, but barring input otherwise from my Patreon members, because they pay the bills and they're the ones who've stood with me, and especially during this time, Now, there's some people who stand with me in other ways. I'm not shouting at anybody, but some things need to change. So there'll be adjustments. I hope you like the content. If you guys don't, if the content isn't what you want and you contact me, ask questions, etc., I will adjust it. But I see no reason to have this time slot filled when I can be using it to service my local students, hopefully, and possibly some projects, because if I want to do welding, or I want to do smithing, or I want to do knife throwing, it is much more reasonable for me to do these things with my wife present, to be able to help keep an eye on my son, to assist Xander in his needs. He's a wonderful boy. I love him more than anything on earth, with the exception of perhaps my wife. So I'm trying to find a way to make this work better for him. I will be doing product reviews again in the future. There's at least one trainer that has to come home with me at some point in the very near future. There will be rapier training with some new students, and I will speak to them and see if they are comfortable being filmed. And practices, once they start up, they will be filmed and then probably released, edited up and released optimally a week ahead. But to get ahead on all that, I'm going to have to deal with my gear issues, rectify a few more of my health and readiness issues, rectify Amanda's. There are some environmental issues that are fortunately or unfortunately being dealt with that in the long run will make things better for our organization. As it involves legal matters, and it involves rather substantial consequences for other people that are going on. Excuse me. I can't go to detail, and I do apologize. I am not being deliberately obtuse, but this is what's coming down the pipe. I've agonized over this one, guys. But so starting next week, the norm will be a pre-recorded video of some length, hopefully edited to some measure of quality, and then I will do periodic live streams to update and give conversation or deal with specific requests. I have so much I need to do, and so many, my windows to accomplish certain things are very narrow. So that's where we're standing. This isn't a fun or exciting video. This isn't my usual bouncing off the walls shenanigans. And for those who came for this, I apologize. I know what's going on right now in the real world is terrifying. And for many of us, it's hitting very, very hard because we warned folks and we've been watching this come. I have people in my life that this very much is and can directly support, and they may need assistance too. So I'm going to do what I can. The Historical Fencing Guild is about adapting, about helping people become the main character in their lives, of healing and growing and leveling up. And I think right now, before I take on the next set of students in the next 2 or 3 months, I need to direct some of that energy that I pour out and have poured out for so long inward a bit. I have a lot that needs done, a lot of housekeeping, both literal and figurative. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being such amazing people. I will be back. If I am not pre-recorded, if something goes wrong, I will live stream in this slot. But I will likely come back with hopefully higher quality, less off the cuff, more educational material that you deserve. All right, guys. That all being said, keep your eyes open, do your drills, be kind to yourself and each other, and as always, thank you for supporting your local swordmaster. I will have something for you next week, but right now, honestly, I need to get something to eat. So, toodles, folks.